Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Welcome in. It is the End of the Bench. 100.7 The Score. I am Rob Breaux alongside Craig Wells, Lucas White. We are in the First United Bank studio. You can call in on the Visual Edge IT hotline 806-771-0973. You can also hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. They're on the website, doubleTSportsNetwork.com, or on the apps brought to you by Happy State Bank. If you're looking for the app, just search 100.7 The Score, Double T 97.3.
Gives you access to a lot of good articles.
It does. And by the way, if you don't have your notifications on, we don't send a lot of notifications, but we send a few. And they're usually direct links to some articles, stories, podcasts, YouTube videos. So you get them right there in your pocket. You can also watch us on Fox 34 News Now or YouTube, youtube.com/Double T Sports Network. Craig, how you doing?
Good.
Did you have a good weekend?
6-0. Yep.
6-0.
Yep, had a great weekend. Get started off with Tech. Got to watch a little college football till about midnight, a little after. It's on till forever. It seems
it
like,
is, especially in the Big 12.
Yeah, but I enjoyed watching the games before the Tech game. Texas OU I watched. It's an amazing rivalry. I mean, the way they do the half and half, and the way they are at the state fairgrounds, and I'm telling you, boy, the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, it means something different to those guys. Yeah. I mean, they were hitting each other, boy. I mean, it was. But I don't really care if either one of them wins or loses. If you could tie, I'd be all right.
Yeah, wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
Let's see, New Mexico State Liberty tonight. More Conference USA action, Arkansas State, South Alabama, and Florida International, Western Kentucky. So we've got Lucas's Liberties, we've got Major Applewhite's South Alabama, and we've got Maverick McIver's Western Kentucky team.
Did Liberty play UTEP at home? At Liberty? I mean, at UTEP? And then they turn around and play New Mexico State? Are they at home or at New Mexico State?
At New Mexico State.
So that means they just probably stayed there?
No, I would probably say Liberty's
financially well enough.
Yeah, one of those schools that can fly around as much as they want. There's some Conference USA schools that might have stuck around.
Yeah.
But it's probably cheaper at this point to fly back and forth with what Liberty has than to stay with that many people for that many days.
Conference USA has weird scheduling. Like they play on Tuesday and then they'll play the following Thursday. Yeah. Like it's
TV.
Midweek football, I guess.
Yeah, and Louisiana Tech, because they play their non-con on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So Louisiana Tech had one of those Saturday, Thursday by Tuesday kind of things, which is really odd. But the Conference USA just has to do that as they're getting from non-conference to conference, because they have now replaced Maction on Tuesdays here in mid-October.
Something, and I watched a couple of those MAC games and so forth, but something's got to be done. If you listen to the Power 4 games, this guy played at James Madison, this guy played at Charlotte, this guy played, And I mean, I don't know how those people are ever going to build teams. It's going to be the best team in the group of 5 is going to be the team that didn't lose the most players. I mean, it's just there's going to be a direct correlation.
If you watch these Conference USA games, though, it's this guy played at Texas Tech, and this guy played at Virginia, and there's bounce back as well.
Yeah.
So it's not
you
have to be
ways.
Active on both ways, and it's also this guy played at JUCO, this guy played at this FCS school. There's there's movement both ways, and there's drop downs and move ups, and it all probably washes out in the end. There's 1,500 guys in the portal every spring, which I would assume now with one window there might be fewer, but I don't know. We'll have to see over the next 3 or 4 years if that makes a real difference.
I'd like to know in Division II football if this has made a difference to them.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean,
they might get more high school kids now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know, that, and it's going to be a rare instance that you lose your star. I mean, you might lose them to an American Association team or a Sun Belt Conference USA or somebody, but you're not going to lose 4 of your offensive linemen or something. You may lose 1 or 2 or something, but not in groups, I wouldn't think.
Well, and the NIL is different at that level, obviously.
Yeah, yes.
So I would wonder in that respect. But if you're a good football player, you're going to find a level that fits your talent generally. Some guys go undiscovered, but generally, if you're good enough, they'll find you. And you can go to the NFL from D2, too. It's just rarer that that kind of talent's down there.
I read an article by that one Power 4 AD was saying he is all for putting some kind of penalty on these kids that take their NIL money, leave, and don't fulfill the NIL agreement, but at the same time the team has to go out and find some more money for NIL. So he's not really interested in penalizing the kids as much as he is maybe the institutions. And I thought, well, that's going to be kind of hard to police, you know, because if the kid makes that decision, why should the – and if it's a players' league, why should the school get –
So if a Tech player –
If a Tech player
goes to Texas,
right,
and there's an there's a disputed balance, Texas would then cover it.
Yeah, or the
That's
kid.
The thought that he wants to say.
I just don't see the logistics working.
Hey, maybe don't tie up $50 million into your coaching buyouts.
You think?
Then you'd have more money to do what you want to do in NIL.
That's
there was some baseball going on last night. We'll talk about that in the headline segment. We'll also talk about the Monday Night Football game with the torpedo reverses and whatnot. The Bears. Weird. The NFC East is weird so far. I don't know that anybody wants to win that thing. We'll have to see what happens in the next 4 or 5 weeks. The Cowboys' defense stinks. We didn't really get to talk about that yesterday with everything else going on. They stink. The Cowboys, there's only one team in the NFL that's averaging 30 and giving up 30, and it's the Dallas Cowboys.
And would Micah Parsons have helped them?
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Would they have made any difference in the defense? None.
No,
none. They're just bad defensively.
They have
front end, from the front line and on the back end of it.
Yeah. No, he would not have saved them. What's he doing for the Packers?
Yes, exactly. And I thought they
got would have had even less money to spend on anyone else.
And I thought the reason they got the guy Clark was his name in the trade or with Kenny. I thought he was a run stopper. I haven't seen him
just
stop.
One man. He's just one man.
Yeah.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. It is the End of the Bench. Lots of stuff going on. We'll continue to talk about Texas Tech football. If you want to chime in, certainly you can. This texter says the reason Hype Bailey get one-on-one so often is because our down linemen are wreaking havoc. They don't get the stats as often, but Holmes, Hunter, and SGH are keeping the O-line busy and deserve a lot of credit for the overall success. 100%.
Absolutely.
And, a lot of these stunts, when you hear Shieldwood in the press conference and Joey McGuire said a lot too, the games they're running, That's the twist and the stunts and the slants and the pressures that they've schemed up. And you could tell they're doing a lot of those. And they didn't early. It's just kind of straight rushing. But Shieldwood's really gotten into his bag the last couple of weeks. And, again, a lot of it is just winning one-on-one battles. But when you're saying, hey, Romello, you're going to go outside and this guy's going to fill in this hole, and if he escapes the pocket, you're going to be there. That kind of stuff still needs to get tuned up, and that's what Shieldwood has been saying in the pressers. But that's why I gave him a B.
Yeah.
It's a little of that fill action, but it's...
He's a hard grader.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's check the calendar here.
Your daily look at what's happening in the world of sports, birthdays, and holidays. Let's check the calendar.
It is, let's see, not a lot of great ones. It's National Dessert Day, which I feel like we have every month.
Every day.
It's Be Bald and Be Free Day. Here you go, Craig. It is National Real Sugar Day. So, congratulations to these sweet tooths out there. It's your day. Luke's, any birthdays?
We have a few birthdays today. We have Stephen A. Smith turning 58 years old today. We have Ralph Lauren turning 86. And then Jared Goff turning 31. LaRon Landry turning 41. Houston Nutt turning 68.
Going to Penn State. Houston Nutt. No, probably not.
That would be something.
Maybe.
Joe Girardi turning 61. Usher, 47. Shaggy 2 Dope turning 51 from Insane Clown Posse. And then John Wooden would have had a birthday today.
The best. The best. 1862. A bunch of weird stuff on this calendar today. 1862, James Creighton ruptured his bladder while hitting a home run and died 4 days later.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a heavy swing right there, buddy.
Was he... No.
Okay. 1906, all Chicago World Series. Cubs beat the White Sox 8-3 to win the series. 1908, a bunch of guys got upset over their seating arrangement and went out and formed the Baseball Writers Association of America. And it started because they were ticked off about where they were being seated. In 1964, Billy Mills won the 10,000 meters in the Olympics, the first and only American to do so. Here's another odd fact. In 1977, Linda Ronstadt, Game 3, Dodger Stadium, sang the national anthem. The Washington Examiner called it the second best ever, but she was criticized for casual attire while singing. 1985, retired number 12. And that was? Any guesses?
In what
number
year?
12, football, in 1985.
No, the 49ers.
Joe Namath.
Ah.
Monday Night Football, jersey retirement. I find this next one amazing. 1989, Texas A&I, now University of Texas, Kingsville. Johnny Bailey, 6,085 yards in one season.
Wow. Passing.
In 2020, the NFL cancels the Pro Bowl scheduled for 1/31/21 due to COVID. And that's this day, October 14th, in sports history. Can you imagine swinging so hard that you rupture your bladder?
No, that's odd. Was it full?
I don't know.
That's what I was going to ask earlier.
I don't know. But medicine and science wasn't near what it is today, and he died 4 days later. They just couldn't fix it. They probably could have today.
Maybe. I mean, that seems pretty bad.
Yep. Did you know there was a All-Chicago World Series? I did not know that.
No.
I did not know
In
that.
1906, you said?
Yeah, in 1906.
Now we do.
White Sox beat the Cubs 8-3.
Were they cheating then, too?
No, but they wore white socks.
Yeah. This texter says, I prefer a hard grader. He's obviously proud of his guys, but has high expectations. And feels like they haven't played their best yet, which is scary for the remaining opponents because it seems like they're getting better every week. Of course, Joey McGuire is going to give an A. That's just Joey. He's the hype guy, where Wood is the type that will not blow sunshine. He demands better, and these players take it as a challenge and deliver. If you watched the video, I mean, he was kind of laughing when he said it.
Yeah.
And Joey was, being
he
tough,
didn't.
not saying an A+.
Well, he also didn't give his offense an A.
Yeah, he gave him a B+.
Yeah.
And he said the special teams is playing at a high level. I don't know what he gave the special teams, but
He gave him an A.
he said that
He said he didn't want
Kenny
Kenny Perry.
Would,
He
said he wouldn't
yeah,
give it an A.
Yeah.
Bullfighter says, could you imagine if Tyree Wilson were still on the team?
Ooh.
I would wonder.
Be playing time problems there.
I thought that initially, but I don't know because all three would be on the field on third and long.
Yeah, yeah.
You would find a way. Tyree Wilson would probably move into defensive tackle. And Romello Height played middle linebacker for a snap and came around the edge and got a sack.
Yeah.
Him and David Bailey met at the quarterback.
We just got through talking about players that are better or as good as some of the ones we have now, but as a unit, how good they are. Can you imagine Jordan Brooks is one of the linebackers? And
yeah.
I mean,
sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
He was one of the best ever at Texas Tech getting sideline to sideline.
Yes, he was.
From that linebacker spot. I mean, he'd make tackles outside the numbers on one side of the field. The next play, he'd be on the other side of the numbers. And he got a lot of opportunities because they were getting past the defensive line a lot.
Yep.
That's an interesting thing, too. Jacob Rodriguez had 14 tackles this week, but he's not had the double-digit tackle totals like he has in the past. But they're just not getting to him as much.
That's right.
Yeah. And it's like Cole Wisniewski. 10 years ago, Cole Wisniewski might be the leading tackler on this team.
No doubt. And he had he's one of the ones that I thought had a pretty good game against Kansas. It, didn't do anything exceptionally, like Jacob's 14 tackles or anything, but I thought he came up and made some hits and stopped some rallies, I thought.
And he also, if you just watch him, he's directing other guys on the field.
Yes, he is, yeah. Yeah, he's putting us in the right spots.
Yeah. There was one play in particular where he's pointing out the corner, like, get up, like you're not in the right spot, and then the corner made the play behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage because Cole Wisniewski was like, no, you're right here. Stay right there and do this.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. It is the End of the Bench. Let's do a couple of burning questions here, Lucas.
2 minutes of non-stop in-your-face inquiries with no end in sight. It's time for Burning Questions.
I don't know that I have a question here, but I do want to bring up the stop rate for Texas Tech. So I want to ask a question for it. If you could have dreamed, as good as this defense is, as good as you thought they could be, honestly, before the season, and we talked about it all off season long, and we've talked about it all season long. But could you have dreamed that Texas Tech football is the nation's leader in stop rate? The stop rate is qualified as stopping a team from either getting a first down or scoring on the drive. So you've stopped teams from getting points on 84.1% of the opposing drives.
So 84% of the time, a possession for the opposing team has not led to a score.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
0.96 points per drive.
That's pretty good.
There's only 2 defenses that have yet to allow more than 17 points, I believe, and that's Ohio State and Texas Tech.
Ohio State just had their first touchdown. First touchdown against them, I think, last week.
And that is, they have an 81% stop rate. They've had less drives. They're 0.85 points per drive.
They've also had a lot of field goals against them.
There's only 4 defenses that have allowed less than 1 point per drive. Texas Tech, Texas, Ohio State, and Oklahoma.
Texas Tech and Oklahoma.
Okay. The latest rankings, if you put them into the playoff machine, has Texas Tech hosting LSU in a playoff game. Would you take that or roll the dice?
Take it right now. Sign us up. Sign me up.
Lucas, would you take that playoff matchup or roll the dice for a potential bye week, I guess?
I would take the game right away. Just get the guys engaged and keep them on track to keep the momentum going.
I think that probably means if you don't move up anymore, you've probably lost the game and then come back and win the Big 12 title.
Yeah.
I think if you go 13-0, you're probably higher, which is still on the table.
You can't win the national championship unless you're in there.
Right.
So put me in.
And I think if you're just like dreaming up dream opponents, like LSU would travel.
Yep.
LSU is basically a regional game. You have some history there. Be payback for the 2015 Texas Bowl, where I think you were. They lost a few at the end they shouldn't have. They were like ranked number 2, and then they all of a sudden they're in the Texas Bowl. I'd have a hard time turning down an LSU in Lubbock opportunity.
Who's the favorite?
Well, we could look that up. Potentially. I would assume right now Texas Tech would be the favorite.
LSU's offense is sputtering at times. Their defense has played well. If it's a defensive game, I like our chances offensively because of the way we score points, both with the run game and the passing game, and I think they're pretty much – it looks like they're kind of one-handed, but – maybe not by the time the playoffs get here.
There was a metric, I guess it was SP Plus I saw yesterday, where your defense is the 6th rated SP Plus defense and LSU's is number 1.
Yeah.
Right now, home team Texas Tech, road team LSU, you'd be a favorite, and maybe a heavy favorite.
Really?
Yeah, this is a CFB-graphs.com, and you can pull up the stat previews, and it basically goes analytics versus analytics. And the projected points right now is basically 32-14.
See,
Texas Tech in favor.
Yeah. I don't know about the 32 part, but I think we could score enough to beat them, and I don't know that they can score enough to beat us.
You'd probably be a 10-point favorite right now at home against LSU. Now, let's just call it a neutral site because you would sell neutral tickets. Yeah, it's still basically 28-14 at that point. So I think that'd be a favorable matchup for Texas Tech, and I think it would be a lot of fun in Lubbock with those LSU fans coming to tailgate because they would. I don't know what time of day that game would be, just based on other playoff matchups. But I think those are afternoon and night games, right? You're not going to play 11 a.m.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
In the first round, you're not playing 11 a.m. I'm sure
there's lots of teams, not lots. There's a few teams that I don't like the matchup, but LSU, I've only seen them play like 1.5 times. So, but based on what I've seen, I would like that matchup. I would think we would. I would think we'd have a pretty darn good chance in that matchup. Question for you. A burning question. I know people don't like, and especially coaches don't like to look ahead and one game at a time, and we want to be 1-0 this week. And what key thing has to happen for Texas Tech to be undefeated going into the championship game? What one key thing has to happen
for Texas Tech to finish the season undefeated?
Yep.
Well, after this weekend, I think health is a priority.
Yeah.
I think you need to be able to keep that defense healthy, and Skylar Gill-Howard, it looks like we've avoided the biggest thing, but he could still be out for a month. You just want to stay healthy because I think you also, we said this a couple of weeks ago, the biggest thing for Texas Tech is to focus on Texas Tech.
Yeah.
You can't overlook anybody. You have to play your best game every week. And I think that's a key thing too. Not overlooking, because it's interesting because you could overlook Oklahoma State and beat them by 20. I think the talent disparity is that big. And then, you're not overlooking UCF to get to West Virginia, but you might be overlooking West Virginia to get to the Big 12 championship.
That's at West Virginia.
At West Virginia. Though we saw spring football highlights where Joey McGuire's saying Morgantown in November. Because it's snowing.
Yeah.
And it's they've been thinking about these games all year long.
Yep.
They're not overlooking anybody, so as long as you can have that attitude week to week, and I think the schedule sets up the rest of the way. I think you certainly could have overlooked Kansas to get to Arizona State. But you're not looking at Arizona State and saying, oh, man, that Oklahoma State game.
Yep.
And Oklahoma State at home, I don't think you're overlooking them to get to Kansas State, though Kansas State, I guess, is your next big matchup. Are you overlooking Kansas State on the road to get to BYU? No, probably not, because of the connotations there historically. You want to beat Kansas State just as a lone matchup. I don't know. I think your schedule's set up really well to be undefeated.
Totally agree with everything you said, especially the health part.
Yeah.
I would add one caveat to that. I think the one place that health might hurt you more than any other place is on the offensive line. I think defensive, you've got, just like Skylar Gill-Howard, you kind of picked up there. So health, to me, you're right on target.
We'll keep going. 100.7 The Score. It's the end of the bench.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. It's the End of the Bench. Dave Campbell has put together the midseason All-Texas college football. Can you believe we're at midseason already?
I know it.
A lot of teams have played 6 games already, at least everybody. Some teams have played 7. We're halfway through this thing. The Dave Campbell's Texas Football 2025 midseason all-Texas college football teams include 56 players with at least one representative from 12 of 13 FBS programs in the Lone Star State. This was put together by Mike Craven, the editor over there. He's a great guy. Texas Tech and Texas A&M, both with 8 selections on this team. Baylor and Houston both have 6. I'm going to read them. You stop me if you think somebody's been snubbed. Craig, you ready?
Okay.
Quarterback, Sawyer Robertson, Baylor. Running backs, Robert Henry at UTSA and Lincoln Pear at Texas State.
I think we've got one that should have been in there.
Well, that's the utility back is Cam Dickey.
Okay.
So, Cam Dickey probably gets there because of his last.
Yeah.
Well, his last 2 weeks, he had the 69-yard touchdown, and then obviously his 68, whatever it was, yard performance. Wide receivers, Mario Craver from A&M, Eric McAllister from TCU, and Romello Brinson from SMU. The tight end, Michael Trigg at Baylor.
God, be hard to leave out either one of ours.
Terrence Carter, the second-teamer. The first-team offensive line features guys from A&M, Baylor, Texas State, North Texas, and SMU. The kicker is Ethan Sanchez. Second-team offense, Josh Hoover at TCU, quarterback. Bryson Washington from Baylor, Caleb Hawkins, North Texas. The wide receivers, still no Red Raiders. Bo Sparks from Texas State, Conception from A&M, and Josh Cameron from Baylor. Terrence Carter, again, the second-team tight end. Jacob Ponton, the second-team tackle. The rest of them from Texas, SMU, A&M, Texas State, Houston, and Texas is the kicker. Dean Connors, the utility back there on the second team.
They like Baylor, don't they?
Yeah, they had several first-teamers. Defensively, David Bailey and Lee Hunter on the first team, Jacob Rodriguez on the first team, and Romello Height, the utility rusher, on the first team. So 3 defensive linemen and Jacob Rodriguez all on the first team for Texas Tech. The second team features Bryce Pollock, and that's it for the Red Raiders. I think Skylar Gill-Howard's snubbed, but I don't know there's too many others. I mean, I think that's a decent list. I think Caleb Douglas has been your best receiver beyond a couple of drops there in Houston. I think Coy Aiken certainly right there with him. But you've spread the ball around so much to your top 3 receivers and tight end. I don't know that any guy has separated himself to be on a team like this mid-year.
Not yet.
I think certainly down the stretch you could have a guy break out, but your offense is designed in such a way that you might not get too many postseason awards with your pass catchers.
That's just like playing against Kansas. Everybody said, we didn't throw the ball. But why should you?
Right.
And
you tried to throw the ball in the second quarter and didn't work. Your complimentary football, as Chris Sneed will love me here to hear me say, needed you to run the ball, and your defense got better again when you were running the ball in the second half and moving it.
One of the things that just stands out to me right off the bat, just looking at it, there's only 3 or 4 guys from Texas mentioned.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, I guess. They've got some good players, but not those great ones, or they wouldn't have 3 losses right now. Or
Texas,
2.
Baylor, and Houston all have 6. SMU with 5. TCU with 4. And then North Texas and Texas State both have 4. It's interesting. 45 of these guys are in the Power 4. Just 13 in the group of 5. I'm trying to go through because one team was not represented. Just trying to make sure. No, UTEP is represented with 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's UTSA, Texas State. There's Rice, Houston. So who was not? I'm trying to think of who is not mentioned here. Is there a UTSA? Oh, there's the UTSA, the running back.
Yeah, running back, yeah.
I'm trying to look at who was not. By the way, Coach of the Year, Mike Elko, midseason Coach of the Year. Midseason Defensive Player of the Year, David Bailey. Hard to argue.
Yep.
I think in some respects, who has overperformed their expectation, Joey McGuire or Mike Elko? I don't know. I think each of them have met the expectation. You probably get the edge there for being undefeated in the SEC, I guess.
Yeah. But they've got, I think to me that's pretty much a tie.
Yeah, I'd go a toss up there.
Yeah.
I do respect Craven for not doing a co.
Yeah.
Just pick a guy.
Yeah.
Just pick a guy we can disagree if we want to. Last year's Texas Tech Arizona State game, I think you had a 17-point lead. If not, you had a 14-point lead after the first quarter. They scored 10 in the second to kind of even it up a little bit. But to me, this game was never really close last year. It finished as an 8-point victory, but they scored 6 late to kind of cut the gap. To me, I think Texas Tech is a better team than last year, and Arizona State not quite as good as last year. So why should this game be any closer? Because it's in Tempe?
Yeah, good question.
That stumped you? I mean, it's not a better matchup for Arizona State, regardless of where you are. Now, Jordan Tyson, I think, really came on strong at the end of last year before he got hurt. And they really hadn't figured out that he was their best player at the time they played Texas Tech. But you handled Cam Scadaboo and really were the only team that did so. Now, he had the, 70, 60-something yard reception, but he didn't do really anything on the ground.
Yep.
And then you forced him to start throwing the ball, and Sam Leavitt was getting pressured last year, and that's not something you did particularly well, and you're doing it at a much higher rate this year.
You're right. There's got to be some intangibles there. One, you talked about playing at Arizona State. And, we were what? Were we 3-0 when they came in here, or 2-1?
2-1 with a loss to Washington State.
Okay.
That was your conference
and
opener. They were 3-0.
And I think that has something to do with it. I think the fact that we've heard from several people that they've had it circled on their calendar for a long time, it tells me that they don't feel like they did what they needed to do to win the game. So there's some intangibles there, but if you look at analytics, there's no reason that game should be any closer, and probably not as close, because we're better than what we were last year, and I question whether they're better. They may be as good, but I don't know about being better.
Some predictions here. Texas Tech 45-10. 48-13. South Texas Ambassador Preston says, what's the phone number again? 806-771-0973. We'll always take a call if you want to call in.
You ready?
For hour number 3?
Nope. For my prediction.
Yes. Wait.
Okay.
Let's do it in hour number 3.
All right.
Craig's prediction on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
And don't bet on it.
100.7. Yeah, we're not a town service. Certainly don't bet on anything I say. More after this.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score is the end of the bench. It is time for Ask the Benchwarmers. Get your questions into the Ace Flooring Center chat line. They're on the apps or on the website, doubletsportsnetwork.com. You can also find plenty of articles going up there. Texas Tech playing Oklahoma State at 3 p.m. next week. And I mentioned yesterday on the website that I think we should invite Oklahoma State to town and put a shirtless section in somewhere for them to feel at home. You think that would play?
Oh, yeah. I think it'd definitely play. And if I were Oklahoma State and being irrelevant as you are, I might try something like that.
Yeah. All right, it is becoming well documented that I have struggled in my picks. So I'm gonna give 3 picks today and try to reverse my fortunes a little bit. Now, when I'm trying to reverse fortunes, right? You look for big spreads and just hit money lines. Okay, so that's what I'm doing tonight in the Conference USA. I'm just picking all 3 home favorites, and I might be jinxing you here, Lucas, but 9.5-point favorites at home. Liberty, check. Home money line. South Alabama, 7.5-point favorites, home money line, check. Western Kentucky, 10.5-point favorites, home money line, check. So we're going to go with the 3-team Conference USA all chalk can't miss parlay. See what happens there. Who's my loss here? Who's my loss here? South Alabama? I think Arkansas State's pretty good.
Yes, they are. Who's Western Kentucky playing?
Florida International. And Liberty has New Mexico State.
I would say Liberty is the one you got to worry about.
He's not wrong.
9.5-point favorites. We can't take care of that.
I would take just straight up. I would. Nah.
That's what I'm saying. Straight up on all 3 of these.
Oh yeah.
Money lines.
Yeah.
I'm not taking the points here.
I wouldn't take the points.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
money
okay.
line. Money lines. I said.
Okay.
You
All
take
right.
the big favorite and you hit the money lines.
Okay. I think you're on.
This is like minus 500.
I think
stuff.
you're on target.
Yeah. No. I'm not crazy.
So in my app that I use, if you took straight up Liberty, South Alabama, and Western Kentucky.
Let me guess. That parlay would be like minus 490.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a leap here.
If you put $100 down, you'll win $207.42.
Yeah. That's not a. Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
That's closer to even odds. Okay.
Lucas, I have a question for you.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No, by the way, I'm not putting $100 in anything. This is just for the sake of picking things on the internet or on the.
When
on the
a
radio.
sports book comes out with their odds, okay? Do the odds makers strictly use analytics? Is there any personal feelings in there at all, or is it strictly analytics? Because we're talking money here, so I find.
I mean, just straight from Vegas, it's all analytics and just kind of game charts, flows, all that stuff. There's nothing outside of all that, but that's kind of the route that most people go.
And
I think in Vegas you're also trying to bet or
trying to get
you're
people
trying to, yes.
to move one way or the other.
And I think in Vegas you're also trying to make money. So, yeah, if the analytics say one thing but one team's way popular, you might seed the book a little bit and make people bet on the other side.
And the home team usually gets 2.5.
That's the
2
thought,
points.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So if you're the home team and you're down, say you're a 10-point dog, then you're really a 12-point dog.
That's the thought process, yeah.
This betting class has been brought to you by.
And I think some home atmospheres certainly command more.
Yeah.
There's probably some 5-point atmospheres and some 1-point atmospheres.
Yeah.
There's probably some 0-point atmospheres, too.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference. And Tech, as of today, 9-point favorites. Is that correct?
It's gone back and forth here. Let's see what it is today. According to, do you have it, Lucas? According to ESPN Bet, today it is 9.5. Yeah.
So
It's 11 for a second,
yeah,
but there's some Arizona State money there that's pushed it back to 9.5.
yeah.
Arizona, Houston. Houston favored by 1.5 at home. So you think probably Arizona's favored there.
Yeah.
But the home atmosphere gives it a 1.5. That's pretty much a pick 'em. That will be on the weekend slate.
Do you get have you ever seen a synopsis after a weekend of how good the bookies did, like they were 28-6 or something against the spread or whatever? Do they rate themselves? Do they give themselves a record?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure you can find that somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody keeps track of every book, probably.
Yeah.
For me personally, I follow more the daily fantasy sports trends.
What are your trends telling you today, Lucas? You reading your tea leaves?
I think I would take the under on New Mexico State's quarterback for passing yards. Liberty, I think I read that Liberty has a top 15 passing defense in the country. And I think his line's like 296, I believe. So, with that being said, I like you are taking Liberty money line kind of adds up. And you do a lot of like same game correlations. And that's kind of how most people run their daily fantasy stuff.
Juan says, "Never bet with your heart." That's why I never bet on the Red Raiders.
That's a good rule to follow.
I think you could probably get away from your heart and bet on Texas Tech the rest of this season. Honestly. Breaking news: Cam Dickey named the Earl Campbell Player of the Week for his efforts against Kansas. The Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award of the Week. That
Outstanding,
goes to,
outstanding player from Texas?
yes.
Not in Texas, but from Texas.
From Texas. So he's the Week 7 Player of the Week. He was pretty good this weekend.
Yeah, he was.
I've seen a lot of people say, man, just imagine how good Quentin Joyner was to win that job.
I hadn't thought about that.
And that
But
makes,
they're two
that
kind of
makes some
different
sense.
runners, you know. But
I don't know. Cam Dickey's one of the fastest
Yeah,
players, it
yeah.
seems like. Because that's what you thought with
yeah,
Quentin Joyner. And he's got some breakaway to him. Certainly.
yep.
All right, we will continue on this week talking about the undefeated Texas Tech Red Raiders and the reigning Arizona State Big 12 champions in that game coming up this weekend. Also might update my preseason predictions and how those records are going midway through the season. 'Cause I picked every Big 12 game before the year.
Yep.
A couple I've nailed and a couple have surprised me.
And I'll have my picks on Thursday.
We'll do Craig's picks on Thursday.
The non-Little Will picks.
Lucas will be back Friday. Enjoy your concert, Lucas. Bottom line up next.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.